Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us today. And we have a larger committee than normal here. We have Dr. Alice Benton.
Hello.
Hi, Alice. And we have Becky Brown.
Hello.
Who I always say is more New Life than I am. I mean, she is the heart and soul of New Life.
That just means I'm bossy.
And one of our great clinicians who I invited to be a board member, Stacey Sadler, is on our board. Stacey, welcome. And
Thank
I'm
you.
really glad you're here. She's going to stick around this hour. In this first segment, I just want all of you have been part of an intensive that we've done, one intensive or another. Comment on why you think those are transformational experiences for people, because we see transformation beginning in those weekends. What do you think is the deal?
Connection. That is key. People coming together, understanding that they're not alone for the first time, and identifying. Like, I've experienced that too. There's so much power in that, in connection, and where they're given information that they need, and then they can apply it right then and there, and it's so powerful.
It is powerful.
There's the two-pack punch also of wisdom, comfort, and that's where we go from seminar and instruction to application and love within the small group circle.
I heard a couple once that had attended our intimacy and marriage workshop, and they said the most powerful thing in the couple was hearing other couples tell their story and seeing themselves in the other couple's story. And so it kind of dropped their guard. You know, a lot of times when people come into a workshop, they're very nervous because they don't know what's going to happen, but they're wanting to have help. And they're greeted with, you know, we always say this about every man's battle, but it's true for all of them. It's a no-shame zone. We've heard a lot of problems, maybe all, and we want to lead you in the direction, and you're not going to go alone. We've got great people around you, and our counselors that lead the groups and the teachers. It's just good. I mean, I'm partial, I know, but I've seen it. I've seen the amazing changes that God brings about in this in the workshops.
I was just talking to a person in another ministry, and when I told him what we did, he was astounded that anybody was doing that, because it is connection, but it's also the content that we present is very different than others. And when you combine God's truth with someone great communicating, like Stacey does it at Restore and Laura at Restore, it really has an impact. And then you go and work with a counselor that's committed to transformation, not making you feel better. It produces something that I don't know of anybody else that's doing this kind of work in that amount of time.
And Steve, don't you also, the energy that comes with a whole group of people coming together to work on their lives, they want to have a better life. They don't want to just feel better, like you said, they want it to be better. And the willingness, it just generates energy in that all of us are for each other having a better life.
Well, you hear the music. We're going to, Waylon, I'm coming to you first when we get back. But I'll tell you, it is not easy to make a bold move because we just think it can't be better or it's not worth the pain. But I'm going to tell you, when anybody calls us, we feel responsible for your heart, and we feel responsible for results. We can't guarantee them. But oh my goodness, if you could rejoice with us and we could rejoice with you in all of the lives transformed, and you be one of them. But you have to call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and say, what do you have for me? Tell me what you've got. We love you. We care about you. And we're going to do more caring and love after this.
We have been estranged off and on for 10 years or more, and he has a lot of grievances and anger and bitterness and hatred toward me.
Our daughter is the problem. She said, I don't want to be in your life right now.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Courageous Parents, Transforming Relationships with Your Adult Sons and Daughters. It's an online workshop with Dr. Jim Burns, Dr. Jill Hubbard, and me. I think it will change the way you see your adult children.
I was never prepared for doing life with my adult children. Some of our kids bumped and violated values that we never dreamed they would, and there's some principles that we can talk about.
With insightful teaching and the guidance of a credentialed New Life counselor, this one-day online workshop, Saturday, April 1st, will provide practical advice and hopeful encouragement for navigating the parent-adult-child relationship. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Stacey Sadler, Becky Brown, and Alice Benton, Dr. Alice Benton. And now we're talking to Waylon here. And Waylon, how are you today? What's going on?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I just wanted to call in and give you guys gratitude. I really appreciate everything you guys do.
Take your time, Waylon. Just take your time. We've got all the time. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. What?
I'm a single dad. I have 2 children, 2 boys. They're ages 6 and one's about to be 9. But just by learning the lessons on you guys helping other people with their problems in life, I'm able to apply those to my personal life. I'm not in a relationship, so as far as relationship aspect goes, I can't apply it to my relationship because I don't have one, but it gives me good direction on what to look for to have a great quality relationship. Now, my children, I had them out of wedlock, sad to say, but I am not sorry that I had them. I love my boys. They're great children. I would not change that aspect of my life at all. And by me listening to you guys, and especially like how you help people with their children and stuff. Yes, I'm an adult. I get angry. They're young kids. But at the same time, every time I've gotten angry with my children, I've always gone back. I'm usually the type of person, 5 minutes, I'm angry, and then after that, I'm good. But I always go back, and I snatch my kids up, and I apologize to them. And I give them kisses and hugs them, and I let them know that I'm sorry, and I ask for their forgiveness. And then I explain to them why I got frustrated.
Okay.
And ultimately, that has really gotten me really close with my boys.
Well, Waylon, I want you to hold here because I want to respond to what you're saying. First of all, I was a single dad for years, and someone came to me and said, Steve, you can do this. Now, I had a daughter. They said, you can do this. And I just lived into that versus, oh, boy, poor me. And, Waylon, you can do this. I want to encourage you to find out the real source of your anger. It is not your children. Children can frustrate healthy people, but you don't have to get angry all the time where you're asking for forgiveness and it becomes a big deal every time. And just for your soul, I would want that for you. But now I want to hear from all 3 of these women, what they're thinking and about Waylon and his situation.
Well, I was glad he called too. I'm wondering where Mom is, and what is that interaction like with you and her and the boys. And, that would be where I would start.
Yeah, okay. And, I guess, let's see. We could find out where Mom is. You said you had him out of wedlock. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Is she in their life?
Now that we're separated, yeah, she is. She is.
Okay.
I think a great...
So, I do encourage them, because they love me and they want to stay with me all the time, but I do encourage them, hey, that's your mom. You guys got to love your mom. You have to spend your equal time with your mom. You have to enjoy the time with your mom, So it's our relationship between her and I actually improved after we separated.
Well, let's see what other of these wonderful helpers have to say.
I think that.
Oh, Stacey, go ahead.
I think that a great resource would be our book, Steve, Understanding and Loving Your Child as a Single Parent.
Single
There
parent.
you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine that.
I'm looking at it right now. I'll
there
send
you
it
go.
to you.
And, we talk about community being so important. So I hope, Waylon, that you have support, because it's huge as a single person to be able to, a single parent, to be able to have support and understanding as you're navigating this. Steve and I talk in the book about having opposite sex people being there for our kids when we can't be the mama, making sure that people, I know Steve had that with Madeline, and same with me and my kids, having strong male role models in their lives. That's important. Recognizing your limitations, we talk about in the book, and being able to lean on and ask for help from other people. Because no man is an island. We need each other.
True.
So I hope he has all that support.
Yeah, I recommend supplements for single parents. And the supplements are other people in their lives to provide uncle-type stuff and grandfather-type stuff and grandmother and just aunt-type input into their lives where it's safe. Alice, your thoughts?
Waylon, I think one of the great scourges of our society is the absenteeism of so many fathers. And thank you for being the opposite. Thank you for swimming against the tide and being so present and building that emotional safety with your boys. They need you, and our society needs you.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's coming your way, Understanding and Loving Your Child as a Single Parent. Stacey did the heavy lifting on this book, and it is fantastic. It's going to help you, and anybody else can get a copy at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and really appreciate the encouragement there. All right, how about we go to Dorothy. Dorothy's calling from Memphis, Tennessee. Listens online. Hi, Dorothy. Welcome to New Life Live. How could we help?
Thank you. Yes, I want to know what wisdom and advice you would give if this were your daughter, and I will say her, him, and the problem, okay? She's age 41, smart, strong believer, beautiful, single, would like to be married and have children. Background, high school and college boyfriend died at 24 from a sudden rare heart virus many years ago, and she has never met another appropriate guy. 1 year ago, she met a 45-year-old man, fine, and they both love each other. He had been married briefly 20 years ago, divorced, and no children. Both he and daughter desire marriage and children, which is why they joined a special group which introduced them. He's also a believer. So is his family. They're both conservative. Problem. Man is truthful and honest. Says he cannot have a normal sexual ejection and would need in vitro. Admits that there was some porno involvement previously, but not now. That kind of sounds like a little red flag to me. However, he loves her very well, is extremely caring and generous, and a really great guy. He is very smart, entrepreneur. He's also a believer.
Okay, what's the question for us then? What is the base?
What do you think? The question is, do you think that they could be happily married without a normal sexual whatever you would call it? And I just wonder, he's a little bit controlling, set in his ways, but very smart and successful entrepreneur. I want to know what would be the words that we could ask him, or that she could ask him to try to get him to go to every man's battle. Or I just don't know at their ages whether I just need your help on this situation.
We got it. So I'm going to throw it open to anybody here that might want to comment before I make a couple of comments here.
Dorothy, his awareness and his confession early on is fabulous and very hopeful.
Yes.
But it all depends on whether or not he's in ongoing recovery, or if is he just confessing and saying that it's historical. And so I would want your daughter to take a firm stance of both gratitude, thank you for telling me, what are you doing about it? And what are you going to continue doing about it for the safety of our marriage? And every man's battle is a one of the best options available.
Well, and what you're talking about is, Dorothy, you're talking about preparation for marriage, but you're talking about mid-age adults who make up their own minds. Now, my first question is, are they in the same town? Because we've had repeated long distance. Are they in the same town? Okay.
And how long have they been together?
He's 1 year, and he's incredibly caring and thoughtful. Sends her just anything he could do for her all the time. And he's also very honest. He's very brutally honest about everything. If he doesn't like it, he'll tell you. Never found anything he said that wasn't the truth.
That's awesome.
And that's
Okay.
good.
That's perfect. Yeah, and even some premarital counseling, talking about those hard subjects like sex and pornography and finances and melding two worlds together. Right. That could weed out some of those issues, and I'd highly recommend that.
Well, and you know what,
at the end, I would.
My first thought, Dorothy, was that, when you asked, will they be happy together? I wish I had that crystal ball, because then I would not work anymore and tell everybody. So, but going along with what we just said, though, is that preparation is everything, especially when you are in the middle of life. Time is of the essence. And so you don't want to wait, we'll talk about that at some point. And as a parent,
that's why I called.
Right, as a parent, your encouragement to her and to him, do whatever you can to prepare for the best life in front of you, have the hard conversations, would be great. I would, I just think Every Man's Battle would be a good choice for him.
Or even intimacy in marriage. Becky, you had an engaged group, right?
Yes, I sure did.
And so they asked all the hard questions. They talked about all those kinds of things, and we're deciding, hey, can I do life with this person?
Well, and just one side note, the loss of her boyfriend all those years ago could also still be impacting her ability to be close to him. She may be holding back for fear that something else is going to happen, and she may not even be aware of it. So some grief work.
So here are 3 S words that I want you to think about. 3 S words.
Okay.
The first one is sex, but you want to be her advocate, not critical of him in any way. And the way to do that is, honey, I really hope that you will make sure that he's done everything he can. You say he's successful. He can to get things right sexually. I have seen people his age just give up on sex because it was not perfect or didn't look like what somebody in some movie would do. So I would encourage her to be sure before she would marry him he's done everything that he can do, because just coming out and saying I can't have normal sex with you, I don't know the details, but I just wonder about that. The second thing, S word, is success. I hope and pray she's not overly attracted to a successful person, because that success that might look like it makes things better for you could actually become, as we've seen over and over, the thing you resent the most, what it takes to be successful. The third S is support. If your daughter only has you for support, that's a concern. And there are different types of support. The encouraging mother, I think that's here with you, but they must get into premarital counseling. In other words, now is the time for them to get into a premarital counseling program together with a very qualified person, because she's on this side of a commitment and a vow, and she is free to make a lot of choices. And you want her to see that in that moment of freedom, that's where you might wait a little longer, but you discover some things that strengthens the other side of the vow, or it could be you just see some things you didn't see before. But boy, do they ever need to be in counseling together. And I hope and pray that if there's a untreated pornography issue that she demands, that has to be cleared up, because marriage makes it worse, not better.
And even the recovery, if there was an untreated porn problem, can make all the difference in the world in their connection, not only just his sex life, but just literally it'll change everything for them. We can help you get some counseling for them too.
I'll send you Jim Burns' book, Doing Life with Your Adult Children. And oh my goodness, when somebody's on this side of a marriage commitment, you just want them to do everything versus this thing, we'll have a lifetime to deal with that.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
That's right.
Once you eat the wedding cake, a lot of chemistry inside changes. Synapses of the brain die.
So much of the enjoyment in my life was centered on food, and I had to get away from that. I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was, and couldn't be asking for better. I'm getting ready to order my 3rd round of clothes.
You can lose weight and keep it off for life, but it involves more than just the latest fad diet or exercise machine. If the underlying emotional, spiritual, and physiological issues aren't addressed, the weight returns.
I had been this low before or lower, and everything that I lost came back and brought friends with them.
The Lose It for Life online workshop deals with all of these aspects with its intensive, comprehensive, and interactive curriculum. This online workshop features Zoom sessions presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 18th, plus 4 small group process sessions facilitated by a credentialed New Life Network counselor. And fitness expert Michelle Spadafora will lead exercise sessions. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I see a different person now than I used to see.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and yes, indeed, you could get help at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to do? Mm-hmm. You call, we help you, you get better, and you live a life you never dreamed you could. That's why we are here. Let's go. How about Lisa? Fort Lauderdale, Florida, listens on the internet. How you doing?
Hi. Yes. So my question, I think I have to preface it, but essentially the question is, how can this study that we're doing turn into something positive? So the study that we're doing is about the sanguine and the different personalities, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. And melancholic and phlegmatic, those things you're talking about there, right?
Yeah.
And that's Tim
LaHaye.
LaHaye.
People labeling each other.
Yeah. Well, it's Tim LaHaye co-authoring with Socrates to produce these 4 categories. Now, there's really something wonderful about a label, and there's many things horrible about labels too. But if I discover that I'm not alone, that there are other people in my category, that's a wonderful thing. If my spouse discovers that just because she's in one category and I'm in a different category doesn't mean we're wrong, we're just different. But there are a lot of things you can look at. There are a lot of assessments, and I think any assessment, this is a pretty broad one with 4 categories, any assessment that helps us understand each other better rather than put us in a little box is a good thing. But let me hear from Alice, Becky, and Stacey. What do you guys think?
Lisa, I'm curious if you're having a negative emotional reaction to the study. What's the strongest emotion you're feeling as you go through this study?
Rejection of the label. I might have brought that on myself because I complained about. I complained to the higher ups about the structural things not being followed. Like we don't get out of class on time, and we don't stay on topic.
And were you given a label, or did you identify a label for yourself through this study that you dislike or don't agree with?
No, someone said a label.
Did they say you were choleric, for instance? Did they say that?
No.
What did they say?
No, they said like, the one that's always got something to say.
Oh, so it wasn't the label from the study. It was they were being dismissive of you. Okay. I think, labels can be like a roadmap, right? Whether it's a diagnosis, whether it is one of these assessments that are very helpful, like you said, Steve, and to recognize that it's not our identity. That's not who we are. We're children of Christ. And I think what's coming up for you, Lisa, is the just the anxiety of not being seen, not being heard, and feeling judged, as opposed to being helped and encouraged and having a better connection with your spouse, especially if you're asking questions because you just need to know. It's okay to ask and to find a safe place in order for you to find it. But it doesn't mean that this study is wrong. It could just be the connection or the group that you're with needs a little bit of help. Yeah. Well, my buddy Dave Stoop was really, really deeply into and knew Myers-Briggs so well. And it helped him to help people. Mm-hmm. It didn't give them a negative label. It just helped him. And then they could see things about themselves. And this whole issue of different isn't wrong, you'd think that everybody'd know that, but they don't know that. Stacey, what are you thinking? Any thoughts here?
Yeah, sure. I think that, Lisa, I would invite you, the power of looking at a label is sometimes you can see objectively what you might not be able to see before. And it sounds like you really like structure and rules, and that says something about you. It says probably something about your childhood. I would guess that you make up in my head that maybe there was a lot of chaos and that you needed some order. And so for things to be in order is really important. And sometimes that gives you insight. And we all do what we do as coping. So there's a lot of grace around why we are what we are. There's a lot of tests like Steve was saying, like an Enneagram test or even the attachment style assessments help us understand why we are the way we are in this world and how we relate to others. And I think it's important to be able to see that objective opinion and then be open, as long as everybody's grace-giving in it.
Yeah, and when we know how we are, we can identify the need and be able to ask for what we need. And I think a lot of times that's where we misstep.
Sure.
Because we get in defense mode and we're overwhelmed, we can't believe it, and then we can't ask for what we need. And that's the power of group, where we can feel that ability. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me send you How We Love.
Great idea.
There's some great insight into there. I have to tell you this, when I discovered I was ADHD, when I heard people talking and I said, that's me, what a relief it was. Not a relief to other people, but because ADHD impacts other people. But I'll tell you, then I could deal with it. Started to make the best of it. And I'm still working on that every single day. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, you need some help, we can help you. We want to help you, but you have to call us first.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back and really, really glad that you're with us here. Closing up a month tomorrow. Can you believe it? And that brings us to March. And maybe you use March, the coming Easter time, as an excuse to do what it's so hard for you to do. Call us. Let us help you. Let us get involved with you. And you might be surprised at how good life can be when you fix something not so good. Let's go to Jessica, Cincinnati, Ohio. WCVX is the station. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call, and I appreciate all the wisdom you guys share with so many hurting people.
Thank you. How can we help you?
Well, I need to fill you in with my story, so I'm going to try to be as brief as possible.
Good luck.
I went through an awful, ugly divorce in 2020. I have two daughters who are 22 and 21. I have a 16-year-old son. I was justifiably unhappy in my marriage to their father, but I was not justified in how I coped with it. No man, I don't think, would handle the fact his wife had an affair well. And perhaps my ex handled it worse than other people might have in far more damaging ways, especially to my kids. So as a result, my kids were included in every bitter detail and were encouraged to hate me and say terrible things to me and to my entire family. And we all had a wonderful relationship prior to the divorce and to the revelation of what I did. And anyway, so my son, I was made optional in the divorce agreement and the shared parenting plan. He was 13 at the time. He has not routinely visited me when it's my time, on holidays even. One time, as I decided I would just show up at my scheduled time, my ex and my son lied to me, said he wasn't there, and when my son was there, my ex spit in my face and lied to the police when they came, and I was told by the police that they couldn't force my son to come. So now, 3 years later, my son's 16. He's absent and tardy from school all the time. I just got another phone call today. And he visited his guidance counselor and told them that he wants to quit and get his GED, and I'm devastated. So here's my question. So now my ex is on board with encouraging my son to come, and but he still doesn't want to come. And so is it appropriate at this stage to force him? And how can I accomplish that when I feel so powerless?
Great question. Glad you asked it. And I've got some let me just jump in here. First thing I would say is what I tell my kids, and I tell everybody, is many people talk about the father wound of men, but guys have to get over mom. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't get over you, which means he's got to grieve and accept and then finally forgive you. And if he doesn't, it's going to impact him. So what you want is you want your ex-husband's cooperation. You want him to maybe see that if possible. You could say you talk to 4 people and they support the fact that we have to help him get over me or he's going to be stuck. And the other thing I want to say is I wouldn't have him come to your house. If he doesn't want to be with you, then I would pick a place that isn't your house. It was zoo, a basketball game, or something where he's not at the house and feels like a traitor to his father or something like that. I would just try to find that other option. But let's hear from Alice, Becky, and Stacey. What are you thinking here?
Jessica, I'd add to Steve's suggestion that you might offer your son 2 different options. Allow him some decision-making power in how he spends time with you, but if your ex-husband is willing to, make sure that it is not optional to see you or not see you, but it's optional how or how long or in what circumstances he'll see you. And it may have to be such a small amount of time with you first in order to rebuild his tolerance. And make sure you're giving him permission to be angry with you. He needs that permission from you.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Jessica?
Well, that is kind of how it's been going. Is I'll take him driving and I'll let him drive around because I moved an hour away, and I still go work in the town that he lives in every now and then. But it's always short amounts of time, and I want more, but he might not be there yet.
So I wonder. Yeah, he's not there yet. So just assume that, and also you guys need to get reacquainted. If there's been a 3-year separation where you have had minimal contact with him and he is now 16, from 13 to 16, a lot of changes occur. And going back to what you said, Steve, about, just the anger that he has towards you is confused with a lot of anger he has just because he's a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy. I mean, it just is part of the growing up stage. I would encourage you, if you don't already have a counselor that you meet with regularly, you have your own healing work that you have to continue to do so that when you do connect with him, you are fully present and you're not anxious about how this is going to go or what's going to happen. I would encourage you to do some group work and, maybe even have him come into a counseling session where he can tell you how he feels about you. More to that point, Steve, of just, we need to resource him in order for him to have the best life possible. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done in this family, and you guys aren't going to do it on your own. But regular intervals with him, whether it's driving, it's got to be on your calendar.
Yeah, I do like the driving thing.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that. I think that the biggest thing is to hold space for him and what that means is any emotion is allowed, welcomed, and whatever he wants to express to you, that you would be safe to hear it, that you would be validating that he has struggled, that he's angry at you, like Alice said. And I'm also thinking that maybe a good buffer, I'm wondering how his relationship is with his sisters, and that might be a good way to do it as a family, to do things as a family, something maybe you all enjoy doing, and until he can spend more concentrated time with you.
Yeah. One caution would be that a boy at that age that's had 3 years separation might think you don't care and you haven't pursued hard enough. So in defense, he acts like he doesn't want to be with you and really shows more of that than anything. Your job in the midst of rejection from him is to continue to pursue. A lot of parents think their kids want to know, will you love me if I do some bad thing?
Right.
But what they really want to know is, will you love me if I do something worse than the bad thing that I did?
Right.
And so you want to solve that problem for them. But your persistent pursuit could make all the difference in the world. And I will send you the book Stacey and I wrote on understanding and loving your child as a single parent.
In any situation where there's been lots of drama, the goal has to be to calm things down, because you will react to everything as if it's the final straw. And he needs some stability. I'm so grateful that your ex-husband is willing to encourage this. So that's a move in the right direction. But I love the family idea too. Those routines in families can be so stabilizing for a young man at this age. So I encourage you, Jessica, to do whatever you can to get your own help so that you can be present and willing to be his mom.
Yeah. And all drama isn't because of the mama.
Right.
So you want to be sure that you get the husband cooperating with you and all the things resolved.
That's right.
Right.
Alice, do you want to say something?
I was thinking that understanding and loving your kids, how we love our kids.
Yeah, how we love our kids.
One of the reasons avoider just keeps popping in my head. He's a 16-year-old and he is avoiding his emotions because most 16-year-old boys avoid their emotions, but it's because they're too painful, or he's not been taught to express his emotions, and so that's why you being the safest place you can be for him, Jessica, is the greatest thing, because that's when he will feel safe enough to express his emotions.
Boom. All right. We're going to send you understanding and loving your child as a single parent. And I was told I need to restrict my giving away, but we are going to send you how we love
our kids.
We're going to.
There we go.
We're absolutely going to do both of those. Let's go to Walker.
Tough.
Oh, is that music? Walker?
Yeah, it's music.
From Harrisburg. We're going to go to you as soon as we get back from this break. You're listening to New Life Live. And April 1st is the Courageous Parenting Series ongoing, transforming relationships with your adult sons and daughters. That's with Dr. Jim Burns, and he really, this is his line. I mean, this is where he really thrives, and he's been in youth work for years, but this is his sweet spot. You want to join us for that. He's one of my all-time most respected friends, and you will enjoy this. You won't be disappointed. This Friday, no, not this Friday. Well, it's March 3rd. Yeah, that's going to be Every Man's Battle, March 3rd.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, March 3rd through the 5th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I've been listening to New Life for many years, gone to a few workshops. I want to support a ministry that helps people connect with God and with others and gives them the tools to help transform their lives.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Healing, 100 Days from Freedom from Shame, and 100 Days of Freedom from Anger. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here, and let's talk to Walker from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Listens on Sirius XM Satellite Radio Channel 131, noon Central Time. Hey, Walker, how are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Doing okay.
So my question is, good, thank you. My question is, I'm struggling in my marriage. The main struggle has been my lack of commitment because I've struggled with looking at pornography. And, that's kind of like created a lot of distrust between me and my wife. And I went to counseling and, I kind of understood the addiction and why I was doing it and how I can stop from doing it. But as we have issues and I feel isolated, or I isolate myself because, whatever issues we're having, whatever arguments I have, then, recently I have went back and engaged in looking at pornography. So where we stand right now is just, she's just kind of like tired of it, and, she wants out of the marriage.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about that pornography problem?
Well, I've prayed about it, and, I've gone to counseling. I was looking at every man's battle, because I guess my biggest struggle is that I'm not connected with other men or, except for, I have a few people that I call, but not consistently. So I open myself up for that attack when I isolate and when I'm not involved with other believers that give me the support that I need to.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because praying is a good thing, but it's private. It doesn't reveal. It doesn't take action outside of the home. Bible study, good, but it's private, and it doesn't reveal to anybody that you're doing anything other than either being more spiritual or acting more spiritual. So beyond prayer and Bible study and talking, what are you going to do? Because I want you to do something, because you still can impact the future. So what are you going to do? Have you decided to do anything that you never dreamed you'd do?
I don't know what to do. I guess that's why I'm calling, because I want to prove to her that I can be the man in her life that she needs.
Nice.
Because that's the issue. She feels like I don't provide her with her needs.
Yeah. So you're calling us. You must have heard about Every Man's Battle weekend in addition to the book, right?
Yes.
So why wouldn't you be already deciding that is what I'm going to do? Tell me the resistance to that.
I saw that, that it's available. I guess right now it's just the financial piece of it. Right now I don't know if I can afford it, but if it's important to me, I'll find a way, right?
Let me tell you something. The price of Every Man's Battle is about the same as divorce lawyers charge for anywhere from just 3 hours to 5 hours. So you're going to pay for this. You're going to pay for your pornography problem one way or the other. And I got to tell you something. The pain in your wife deserves a radical move on your part.
Well, and I wonder, Walker, do you want her to leave?
No. And another thing that complicates it is that I just got promoted, and the job that I'll be taking will be out of state, which means that I won't be home as much.
Listen, I can tell you something.
So I'm kind of about that.
I can tell you something. We've heard a lot of stories of men whose porn problem cost them their job. And so it may be the next best step before even worrying about your new employer. You got to get this right, or you're going to lose your family, your wife, and then you're going to look back and say, I should have done something.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to do something. Like, I definitely know that I have to do something because my words haven't been backing up my actions. And as far as she's concerned now, I'm just full of words.
That's right.
So the bottom line is, you have a problem. We have helped people fix that problem. But you have to come to a place where it is the priority over job, baseball, whatever it is that you like to do. It has to be number one. When your wife sees you do things you never thought you'd do, she will be patient rather than just saying, it's over, I don't want you. Alice, what are your final thoughts here?
Walker, brother, I'm an avoider. And I suspect that you are too. I think you still have a foot in both camps. And I think you're undecided about what you truly want to do. And I say that because I care about what you and what happens in your marriage. So I hope you'll admit to God that you're undecided, if I'm accurate about that. And then I hope you'll take a risk with your wife and tell her that she does have a right to leave the marriage. That because of your actions, Walker, you don't deserve a second chance, but you want one. But Walker, don't have that conversation until you firmly decide what do you want and what will you show in your actions that you want.
Yeah, when I talk to women at Restore, the one thing they want is proactivity. They don't want to be sending you somewhere. They don't want to be a mama. They want to see that you're doing this for you. And proactivity and follow through are the two biggest words. Passivity is a problem. And so those are the things to move you forward. Do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. And the challenge is here for you to be truly see where you are, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or wherever. Don't try to fool yourself and then think you can fool her. If you aren't fully committed to a life without pornography and self-gratification, not fully committed to repair the damage done, then I think she has a right to know that.
Well, and Steve, you know how you always talk about that Ephesians passage where, men have to die to themselves. That's what you're called to do, Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And your first
Ephesians
step
5
was calling this radio station and saying, hey, how do I save this? So we're telling you, be proactive. Take the first step. Know yourself. Be honest with yourself. And you called. Great. Now do the next right thing.
So I think the potential for greatness is here. You did call us. A lot of men don't ever call us. But the choice is still yours. And when I was at Intimacy in Marriage, I finished with the worst thing that you could have on your tombstone is just one word, the word almost. Mm-hmm. That he almost lived into his greatness, fulfilled his calling from God. You don't want that. You want to have something like mission accomplished or fulfilled. So let me send you a copy of Every Man's Battle and see if that possibly could lead to you coming to the workshop March the 3rd. I hope you will. Anybody have a final thing for him?
I was going to say you could send him Worthy of Her Trust, even though I know we're not going to
say the same thing.
Okay, see, they just told me not to, but you can. So and also give your wife Worthy of Her Trust, and then it's going to tell her what she will see.
It's a dangerous book. But that's a dangerous book because it's going to hold the bar high.
Here's a plug. For those of you who are giving to the ministry, this is why we need more money to do what we're doing so we can help people. We can send them more books. We can help them with their lives. And we just are so grateful to have the opportunity to be able to reach out with Walker to have him find his new life.
If you give, we'll send you 100 Days to Freedom from Shame. Listen to this scripture, Romans 12:12. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. What a great challenge for us every day. Hope, patience, and prayer. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.